Start with the nation. How I will tackle inflation, Naira, Forex crisis by Cardoso. OPS, Speaker, others oppose Labour strike call. INEC fixes dates for Edo, Ondo governorship elections. Federal government needs 207 billion naira to complete 269 roads. Response to allegations, Ondo Assembly tells Aiyedatiwa. Obaseki asks Shaibu to drop governorship ambition. Tinubu okays purchase of 12 attack helicopters. Maulud Nabil, President offers felicitate with Muslims, and how Abiodun is driving FDI through OGFTZ. Okay, which story are we starting with? Major headline, you have that?
Headline, yes. So Michael Olayemi Cardoso yesterday began his tenure as the 12th Central Bank of Nigeria governor, following its clearance by the position by the Senate. He promised to provide transparent and focused leadership with full adherence to the rules and return the Apex Bank to its core monetary policy responsibility. He also pledged to work in synergy with the fiscal authorities in the overall interest of the economy in short and medium term. So you know that he was a former chairman of the Citibank, for a bit, and he said that he has the credentials to, continue with the CBN. There were also other people who were screened alongside him. So 4 deputy governors by the Senate. All of them were also cleared. The governors are Mrs. Eme Musoro, Mr. Muhammad Sani Abdulhai, Datijo, Mr. Philip Shaibu, and Dr. Bala Mbelu. And, all of them were responding to the questions that were asked them. But there was something important he said. I hope I can find it. He says that he needs to refocus the CBN, right, to its core mandate. And there is a need to pull the CBN back from direct development, financing interventions into more limited advisory roles that will support economic growth. The CBN has been putting hands into so many things of late. Now they want to focus on how they can grow the economy, see how at least we can give our Naira the energy it has, because the way the Naira is collapsing, I really don't know. People who have a lot of investments in Naira, I don't know how it's going to be in a few years' time if nothing is done. So they should focus on growing the economy like he has promised. I hope he will also break down how he wants to do this to the general public.
Because CBN was one giving money to Anchor's Borough.
They were into a lot of things. It's not their thing.
It's not your job.
That screening yesterday. I watched it for
I heard,
but the Senate president was the most interesting.
Which one?
Are you serious?
He was using the screening to throw jibes at the former CBN governor.
Okay. Oh, really?
That's how we appeared at the primaries. And we saw a CBN governor printing all the cards for his ambition. And he left the ground for the primaries back to his office. They were I hope that you will not go and start choking hand in things that is not concerned. As in about 3 different...
But there was a question I wish I got the answer to. The one was asked, somebody asked about all the multicolored Naira that we have, one brown, one blue.
Which one
which one are we doing? What are you going to do? Do you know what he answered? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Okay, I would like to know.
I remembered when the Senate president also told him that in other countries, no country in the world has ever changed their Naira overnight. But this one, though your predecessor tried to do it in 30 days, I'll be something days.
How possible?
And
the CBN governor did not work alone. He worked with a president.
But if he had insisted on his roles.
Let's take another story. Mary, you have a story?
So I have another story. Remember the feud that's happening in Edo State between the governor and deputy governor. The governor, we finally heard from anonymous sources that the governor has said he has agreed to reconcile with his deputy, Philip Shaibu, but on the condition that Shaibu drops his ambition to run for the September 2024 state governorship poll.
Why?
He said that Obaseki wants Shaibu to do so publicly or be excluded from all government activities, including the State Executive Council meetings, if he failed to do so. They said that Shaibu's ambition, that is the real cocoa.
There's a reason.
This is bullying.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, there's no reason for that.
It's the real cocoa of the feud between them.
No, there's no
reason. They
reason.
said that the governor already has someone that he's supporting, Asue Ighodalo, a lawyer from Edo Central, to ensure fairness, justice, and equity. That is his reason. And that this Ighodalo is the chairman of the board of trustees of, where annual investment drive by the state. But as we know, Shaibu has insisted that he must partake in the governorship election. And they said that the governor has also been surreptitiously sort of moving Shaibu from sitting on in strategic meetings. So he would send him off for events outside the state, and then the governor will meet with...
strategy meeting?
It has happened.
No, this is a clear case of bullying.
I also didn't support.
And I don't think this should be allowed.
Governor's ambition.
For whatever reason.
But the present governor was able to win an election. The question is, can Shaibu win an election without the support?
Without the support.
So remove your support now.
There could be back-end reasons also. We don't know. You know how some people come together and say, okay, it's your turn, I go first, then you go, depending on the state. We don't know the agreement that was reached before this position came in. Where
if I now choose not to follow the agreement,
and now
do you tell me to drop my ambition?
It's your civic responsibility actually to run.
Yeah.
Not support
that's bullying.
Governor Abiodun's ambition. No, in fact, he floated another party for his own candidate, but the Governor won on the platform of the APC.
Yeah.
Shaibu has a lot of...
Can Shaibu
win?
Do the same
Yes.
in Edo State?
If he feels he can, he's also...
He should go ahead.
It's not a matter of feeling. He should know.
Anyways, let me go to... Ondo State lawmakers yesterday have directed the Deputy Director, Lucky Ayedatiwa, to respond to allegations that have been leveled against him as part of the impeachment process. They insisted on progressing with the process without consideration for a court ruling trailing it. They made the allegations public. They said, number one, he needs to respond to the allegations concerning corrupt enrichment and waste of public funds, making false allegations against Governor Rotimi Akeredolu's health in the media, undermining the power, undermining the governor and causing disaffection, working at cross purposes with the governor, spending 5.4 million to buy tires and batteries for his convoy vehicles, using his position to enrich himself through unreasonable release of land for his personal use, purchasing automatic transmission box for Lexus SUV staff car as acting governor for 10.5 million naira. So many other allegations here. I mean, these are just quite interesting. I was governor for 2 days.
The court
and he has already been accused of...
The court ruled against his impeachment process happening.
Well, these are the lawmakers in their own house trying to say you must first of all respond to allegations before they now bring this issue.
Okay, I have the story of the president has approved the procurement of 12 attack helicopters for the Nigerian Army. This was announced by the Chief of Army Staff, Taoreed Lagbaja, at the Maiden Nigerian Army Aviation Seminar yesterday. This is good. I don't know the cost of the 12 helicopters, but I know that they need it.
Okay.
Especially in Zamfara.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing papers, moving on now to Punch. OPS, that's indefinite strike, OPS kicks as Labour vows to shut down airports and others on Tuesday. Edo Malud, prayer for Nigeria, Tinubu tells Muslims. We pray for Nigeria, Tinubu tells Muslims. Landlord baths 11-year-old with hot water. INEC unveils Ondo Edo polls timetable. Cardoso to clear dollar debts, suspend intervention loans. Fuel, car, others imports gulp $46 billion annually, says federal government. Okay, let me start with the major headline. The federal government has invited organized labor to a meeting in the for a last-minute bid to stop their planned October 3rd strike. The unions had come together, declared an indefinite strike with effect from Tuesday to protest the alleged failure of the federal government to provide post-subsidy palliatives for workers. But the Ministry of Labour, Employment and Productivity assured Nigerians it will meet the leadership of the unions before they shut down the economy. So the spokesperson of the Labour Ministry, that's Olajide Oshundun, said the meeting scheduled for Tuesday will be centered on the pronouncement that will be made by President Tinubu on October 1st Independence Day broadcast. According to him, they expect the president to state categorically what will be done concerning palliatives. He said that the Minister of Labour had met with them and said that Oshundun noted that the second major demand was the wage award for workers, which the Labour said that will help in mitigating the effects of the subsidy removal that they will have the strike. if indeed the president is able to meet their demands from his speech on October 1st. So they're actually waiting for that speech to know if indeed the president has considered all their demands. And hopefully if that happens, they can then shelve the strike. If not, they're definitely going to go on strike on 3rd of October. And I think other organizations are actually kicking and saying that they need to continue to dialogue with the president and so that they don't shut down the economy as they plan on their strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a human interest story. A landlord identified Smichael allegedly poured hot water on an 11-year-old girl, identified as Princess. So the incident happened Saturday in Mowe, Obafemi, Owode local government area of Ogun State. And after the incident, the sister of a tenant in the house, was the one who now narrated the story to the police. So according to her, said that even her sister wants to pack out of that house because she's afraid that one day the landlord will come and beat all the tenants, the way the landlord has been beating this particular girl, that every time they hear her screaming in the middle of the night, this man will be flogging her using cane, belts, different types of beating. And this young girl, that's Princess, is actually his daughter from an estranged wife. So he's been maltreating her over and over. The other time they asked him what happened, he said the girl refused to go to school and decided to beat her. So on this particular incident, the girl said she was hungry, she and her brother. So they went to tell the man that they were hungry. The man said, okay, put water on the stove. And he started beating her. When the water was boiled, he carried the water and poured on her, But the police has arrested him. He's in custody now. Investigations are going to follow. The girl has been released from the hospital. I think these sort of men or women who maltreat, they are not okay, definitely. They need to be taken care of and treated properly so that, and I like the fact that the tenants were crying out for this young girl. We can't see things like that and remove our face.
And there's still a punch?
I do. So INEC has fixed September 21st, 2024 for the Edo State Governorship election. We'll see Philip Shaibu will be running, and that of Ondo State will be held November 16, 2024. And the electoral body said that this is in line with the Constitution that stipulates that election into said offices shall be held not earlier than 150 days and not later than 30 days before the expiration of the tenure of the last holder of the office. They said the governorship election in Edo State is Saturday, 21st, 2024. Primaries will hold February 1st to 24th, 2024, while submission of the list of nominated candidates via the online portal will start 9 a.m. March 4th, 2024 and close at 6 p.m. on March 24, 2024. And then the final list of candidates will now be published April 3rd, while the campaign in public by political parties will commence April 24th, ends 24 hours prior to the election day, which is September 19, 2024. And also for Ondo State, the same process. The governorship election will be held Saturday, November 16, 2024. Primaries also April 6 to 27 of that year, 2024. Submission of the list of nominated candidates via the online portal will start April 29 and close 6 p.m. May 20th, all in 2024. So,
okay, another story?
The special advisor to the president on economic affairs, Topo Fasua, talked about the number of bureau de change operators in Nigeria, asking the federal government, the CBN governor, to reduce over 5,000 bureau de change operators in Nigeria to 200. And in the same story, he also talked about how Nigeria spends about 45 billion naira annually importing refined petroleum products, milk, chemicals, fish, and among others, and cars. And he's saying that, here the issue of scarcity of forex and how we all scamper for it is what is also coming back to affect Naira. Asking the CBN governor again to do something about that.
Okay, moving on now to Daily Sun. Tinubu moves to stop Chicago University. FG begs for more time as Labour meets to decide on indefinite strike. Seeking investors abroad, waste of time, says Peter Obi. No cause for alarm over fire incident, says Supreme Court. Tension in Benue as gunmen abduct commissioner and ex-LGA chairman. Ex-Kano Emir Sanusi hits APC hard, says government under ruling party has set Nigeria 40 years backwards. And tribunal dismisses Jandor Rosevival petitions, affirms Sanwo-Olu's election. Any story in Daily Sun?
Yes, I have a story where university confirms rescue of 13 students and 3 others. It was in the front page as well. So the Federal University Gusau Fugos in Zamfara yesterday confirmed the rescue of 13 students and 3 others who were abducted by gunmen September 12th. The university confirmed the development through their verified Twitter handle at official Fugos. And it was a remarkable turn of events, according to them. They said 16 individuals, 13 students, 3 laborers have regained their freedom, and that was thanks to the courageous efforts of the military. They also extended their heartfelt gratitude to God for granting them the strength and resilience to endure the ordeal. And the rescue operation was conducted by dedicated members of the military. They tried as much as possible to, show their unwavering commitment to the safety of their citizens. There was also the report that the Joint Task Force Operation Hadiri Daji had earlier rescued 6 female students of the institution who were among the unspecified number of students abducted September 22. The female students were abducted from their rented hostels at Sabongida, about 200 meters from the university campus. The government also abducted 9 construction workers of a company, engineering services, and they were there in the university to execute a project. But we thank God that these people have been, rescued.
Okay, so the 3-person panel presided over by Justice Arum Ashom threw out the election petition filed by the Labour Party candidate Rosevival and the PDP candidate Jandor at the last elections for lacking merit. The party, in fact, threw out the 2 petitions for what they call lacking merit. The tribunal also said that all the issues filed by the PDP in this tribunal, before the tribunal, were all pre-election matters, and that they lack jurisdiction to entertain such. So the Labour Party candidate Rosevival has said that they erred in law and he will be seeking an appeal at the appeal court.
Any story? So, okay, let's move on now to Vanguard. NLC, TUC start nationwide indefinite strike. Let's take reduce fiscal deficit by 3% of GDP, IMF tells Nigeria and others. National security remains precarious amid numerous successes. NGE commends Southeast governors on security initiative. Senate clears Cardoso, 4 others as CBN governor and deputy governor. Government shoot 3 Nasarawa police students, abduct 1. Live well, be happy. Death calls on us daily. Reflections on human flourishing in Nigeria. We didn't mandate anyone to negotiate with bandits, defense minister. We are committed to fighting illicit drugs, says Tinubu. Insecurity, FG boosts army operations with attack helicopters. And yeah, okay, which story? In Vanguard, anybody?
No.
Not yet.
Anyone?
All right, so let's take Tribune. Major headline, Tribune, the Nigerian Tribune. How forex issues, inflation will be tackled, says CBN governor. Afenifere laments worsening insecurity. INEC fixes November 2024 for Edo Ondo Guba. Over 48 medical doctors kidnapped in 2 years, says NMA. Court stops impeachment of Ondo deputy governor. We have proof federal government holding secret talks with hand bandits, says Zamfara government. NLC TUC to begin indefinite strike October 3rd. Poor kitten. How state officials deceived me after collecting 20 million naira for games, says Oyebanji. Coroner's inquest into Mohbad's death begins on Friday. And that is all we can take on Front Page Review today. Let's go on a break. When we return, we want to the hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.